Andrew Little.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Labour and asks, what new measures, if any, is he considering that will lift pay rates so that all wage and salary earners share in a growing economy?
Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Mr Speaker, on behalf of the Minister of Labour, the Government is committed to continuing to grow the economy through both the recent budget and our business growth agenda, and ensuring that everyone gets a fair and growing share of the pie. This includes our year-on-year increases to the minimum wage, which now sits at $14.25 an hour. The April increase of 50 cents was higher than the CPI, which helps lift the real incomes of the lowest paid while not damaging their job prospects. Job growth in our economy has been strong over the last year, and we've seen in Budget 2014 that this trend is likely to continue, with forecasts of average wage growth of $7,600 by 2018 and around 170,000 new jobs in the next 4 years.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Andrew Little.
Mr Speaker, what exactly is intended by the statements in the Ministry of Business, Innovation and Employment Statement of Intent 2014 to 2018 that, quote, "We will review employment standards to make sure they are encouraging fair and productive workplaces," end quote, and, quote, "We will also look at the employment framework more generally to ensure it remains fit for purpose," end quote. And will we see more changes to the Employment Relations Act along the lines of those currently being made?
Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Well, Mr Speaker, on behalf of the Minister of Labour, I think the matters in relation to employment standards to strengthen the requirements to meet the employment standards in legislation, and I imagine the Minister will make announcements in due course about that. And in relation to employment relations generally, my understanding is no plans for further changes at this point beyond what's already in front of the House.
Supplementary question, Andrew Little.
Mr Speaker, in view of his claim, and indeed the claim of the Minister for Economic Development today, made previously in this House that wage rates have increased 3.2% on average last year, and in view of reports of, for example, UCOL staff settling on a pay rise of 1.25%, Christchurch port workers settling on a pay rise of 2.85%, of print workers settling on 1.6% for 18 months, and of many other workers struggling to get a 2% pay increase, who does he say is getting increases in pay rates of 3.2% and more?
Name one. Well, Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Well, Mr Speaker, on behalf of the Minister of Labour, it's not the government saying that, it's actually Statistics New Zealand saying that average weekly wages are it is correct. Go and look at it, Mr Parker. You're going to go back down your little LCI hole again. The reality is, under quarterly employment survey, that the average weekly wages have lifted by 3.2% over the last year. It is actually significant, and it refers to actual wage increases, and the members opposite can hate it if they like. They hate success and they hate progress in the New Zealand economy.
Supplementary question, Andrew Little.
Does he accept that when 46% of wage and salary earners in 1 year, namely last year, get no increase in pay rate, then achieving a 3.2% average increase across all wage and salary earners means that some are getting extraordinary pay rises? And could he tell us who they are, please?
Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Mr Speaker, on behalf of the Minister of Labour, it's important the member notes that his premise at the start is actually incorrect. Again, the members are working off the labour cost index, which is only one small element of the overall wage increases for New Zealanders. Wage increases are made up of increases as a result of productivity increases, increases as a result of promotion and so on, increases as a result of increases in hours worked, and increases as a result of inflation, which is the only bit which is measured by the LCI. Now, the members can wander down here and pretend that that's the actual situation for as many months as they like, but it's not.
You can't name one. Supplementary question, Andrew Little.
Mr Speaker, why won't he accept that when nearly half the workforce cannot get a pay rise in a growing economy, there is something wrong with wage setting in this country, and that workers and employers need a better approach than this government has so far offered?
Honourable Stephen Joyce.
On behalf of the Minister of Labour, no, Mr Speaker. What we have seen in this economy over the last year is 84,000 new jobs, the fastest job growth rate in a decade. What we have also seen is an average weekly wage increase of 3.2%, which is well ahead of the cost of living increase of 1.5%. If the member thinks that needs reform, well, he's entitled to his view, but most New Zealanders understand that the New Zealand economy is on the right track and is going to deliver better job growth and better incomes for New Zealanders in the years ahead, provided that lot doesn't get control.
Question number 10, Right Honourable Winston Peters.
Mr Speaker, this question is to the Prime Minister and asks, does he stand by all his statements?
Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, yes.